be brought back to life?
It was well before those scripts had been written. I mean, the storylines had been mooted and talked about in meetings, but no scripts had been written, so it was quite early. They told me I was going to die before we started filming the series, and I think it was only about 2 weeks into filming it. They said, actually, now it's Owen that's going to die. And I was like, well, there's more things you can do with being alive, isn't there, really, than being half dead. So I was sort of happy about the change.
And what about when you went over to Doctor Who? I mean, you're working in exactly the same place, but was there something different about suddenly going in, getting a car, going into work, and then moving over slightly into, a legendary set, if you like?
Because there are a lot more youngsters that watch Doctor Who because they're allowed to. The only way it changed the performance is you have to sort of make things a little bit clearer and a little bit more blatant, just so the younger audience can understand. You can be a bit more slight, subtle, mischievous with the torture performances, a little bit played down. But that was the only change. And then as soon as we got into the swing of it, it was like filming a mini episode of Torchwood.
And do you have any particular favourites from your first year at Torchwood, episode-wise?
Countryside, all the way, yeah. I love them all, but Countryside was... I think it's because it was nostalgia filming as well. We went up and stayed in the Brecon Beacons. As John mentions it in his book, we stayed at Craigenall's Castle, set right in the heart of the Brecon Beacons, and it was beautiful. We had a really good time, and I think that was the weekend that the cast really first got to know and love each other.
And sorry, I was just thinking about you're saying that you like to gore, and so you're drawn to the cannibals of Countryside. Cyberwoman was your first sort of big episode in terms of you being the central character, and you had to do quite a lot of emotional stuff in that. How do you gear yourself up for that sort of performance?
Differently now to what I would have. That was a big shock for me. Cyberwoman. It was a big. It was the first time that I had that much screen time and been asked to convey that much emotion and information. It took me by surprise. I only really had sort of about 3 weeks notice the fact that I had an episode to myself after just 1 or 2 episodes where I had a couple of one-liners. And it was very exciting, and it was a big shock. And I didn't really sort of gear myself up. Those sort of high emotional states came out of me being so nervous and so excited, also, petrified that it was going to look awful. And I think it just fell into place. Hopefully quite well, which was lucky for me, because I didn't really approach it as I would have liked, because I was so nervous and apprehensive and uptight about it, because it had taken me by surprise. But I was happy with the way it turned out.
It's terrific. It's a terrific performance. But I do have to ask, what sort of future were you and the Cyberwoman seriously going to have? Because all their important bits were metal anyway. I mean,
which means they don't stop until you turn them off.